You're
Bare-Knuckle.
Bare-Knuckle. Now, as the next fighter, I look and think, God, that must hurt.
So is it the same sort of hand wraps what we have under his glove?
Just get wrapped here, underneath your knuckles, just bare knuckles.
Today's episode, That Boxing Show, will of course include my co-host and the brains of the bunch, Andy Nicholson, and our guests will be Dave Coldwell, a renowned trainer. This guy's gone from the top to the bottom. He's worked with them all. He'll talk about the psychology of boxing and fighters he's worked with, plus his own private story. And bare-knuckle fighter Joe Lister, 21 years old. It's an interesting story. This young man, he's got the attitude, he's got the appetite, but he still suffers from those nerves. Nerves are good. And he'll talk to us about the mental health of fighters, which is so important. To your career in a bit, we'll just get some meat on the bones here with this young man here. I suppose.
I'm glad he said young.
You're younger than me, man. Can you believe it? This guy's he's 50 years old. That grade gives you away, that's all.
Yeah.
You could have easily done it. Now, I knew you from day dot when you started boxing. And not many people know the story why you started boxing, the reason why you started boxing. Just being in the gym, what it gave to you in your life. You tell me. You tell us.
Well, I was actually born in India, in Calcutta. My mum's Indian, my dad's English. Came over when I was 1 year old, 18 months old. Grew up in a place called Ecclesfield. Back then, Ecclesfield...
Had money?
No.
Ecclesfield's posh, man.
What are you talking about? No. Back then, Ecclesfield, it was just white people. That was it. Back then, it was completely different.
I bet you got hammered.
When I went to... So in junior school, I was all right. And then I went into comp, and there was 1,500 people at Ecclesfield School. And I remember in my year, there was one Asian girl. Year above, there was an Asian brother and sister that were cool kids. And there was one black kid in my year. So it was on 3 meals. I was the smallest kid, and I was in the minority with my colour. So I didn't have a lot going for me, and I just got tortured every day. Literally tortured every day. So school for me was hell. And then I had issues at home with my mum as well. So I got to 15 and I just got fed up of being that school wimp, being that, stereotypical wimpy sort of kid that no one wanted to speak to. Girls didn't want us to talk to. They'd be like, talk to you when nobody's around. As soon as cool kids come, that's like
I've got the same story. It's crazy.
So you actually, I don't know if you remember, you was the first boxer I ever met. You used to do this where you went around with the council in the parks, summer holidays, right? And I don't know, you won't remember.
First park?
But no, it was Ecclesfield Park.
Oh, we did Ecclesfield.
Right? You did Ecclesfield Park. And you was on your back of the wagon, we used to do games and stuff like that. And he said to me, he says, you want to come down to Brendan Ingles and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah. And it stuck in my head. And then, obviously, that was before, and then eventually, when something happened at school where they locked me up in a metalwork cupboard, threw paper towels at the floor, through the back where it just had bars, and set them on fire. So I got fire in my feet like that in one of those thin sheet metal cupboards, and I kind of smashed my way through that. And I remember thinking to myself, it's all right while I'm a kid getting bullied, but my big thing was, what happens if I grow up and I'm walking down the street with my kid and there's bullies and I'm scared and I'm intimidated? I can't live like that. So I went looking for Brendan Ingles' gym, but I thought it was in Shire Green. So I spent a full day walking around Shire Green, and it's all hilly, innit? I'm walking everywhere in Shire Green looking for this gym, asking everybody about the gym. It was like, no, there's no gym here. And then somebody actually said, oh, you're in the wrong place, it's Winkerbank. So I had to wait for the next day, and I went and I found Brendan's gym.
And that was it?
That was it. Never looked back.
I can remember you were always in the gym. I do remember it well. And you were fast, you were annoying. But you just always seemed to be watching, studying. So even though you boxed, it's like Brendan. Brendan said he wasn't the greatest boxer, but he was the greatest trainer. And people always found their path. And now looking back on it, I remember you were always watching. Naz, me, everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe subconsciously you were just taking it all in. The downside, for me, the downside of going to the boxing club was having to box.
Yeah.
I didn't want to box.
Yeah.
But then, and you were probably the same.
Same.
But I love the training, that family environment.
Sorry, why didn't you want to box when you were there? If that's what you were there to do, you just more of a hangout or more of a...
I was there to make friends.
Right. So it was more to hang out, not really be...
Yeah. So the downside was, because like we'd all train together, we'd run up the road or we'd like, who can, I don't know, go on the bags, it's getting fit together. I didn't want to get hit. But so the fear was, I've got to get fit so I don't get hit.
Yeah.
But then we all just did it together. We're probably like a dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
Because we'd all battle inside the gym, but we all moved like a pack of wolves outside the gym.
Yeah.
And that's it. How was home life then? How did home life contribute to you in the gym?
Home life was bad. I left home at 15.
You left home?
Yeah, I left home at 15.
And lived where?
First, I was ducking and diving, sleeping on somebody's couch, and then I ended up going to my grand's, which was my dad's mum. Both my parents were alcoholics, so that's probably a big reason why I don't drink. So I know the effects of what alcohol does for people. My dad was a quiet, happy drunk, whereas my mum was she was nasty. She was different. So when I wanted to box at 10. I wanted to stop Mike Tyson, watching Mike Tyson in the middle of the night and things like that. I wanted to box then. I remember the first time that I told her that I wanted to go and start boxing. She literally taught me a bit of boxing then. I had to wait until I left home. When I left home, that's when I really took the boxing seriously. Made a deal with her at first. I think it was during the last year. It would have been the last year because I left home at 15. I actually started boxing at 15. So the last couple of months where I was at home, I said I'd just do it just like a couple of times a week. I'd never fight, nothing like that. So I went a couple of times while I was at home, and then I left, and then I was like twice a day, every day in that gym.
You stuck to Brendan like glue. Yeah. Every time.
It was like the gym was like a family that I'd not got. So Brendan, I hung on every word that he'd say. Without blowing yourself up, I used to follow you. I don't know if you remember. I used to follow you around the ring, around the gym. So you would do this pull-ups, press-ups, dips circuit, right? And I just follow you around, and I'd do the same thing. And I'm one of those people where if I look at somebody, still to this day, if I see somebody where it works for them, then I'll try it. I'll go, oh, he's in good, he'd try it. So I'll try it myself as a guinea pig. Then when I see it's working for me, then I stick with it, add it to my routine. And that's how I kind of like got into keeping myself in shape, keeping myself like active, looking well, healthy. Then, like you say, I'd watch all you guys. I'd be training with you, or sometimes we train at different times. Sometimes you'd already be in the ring and I'd just sit, watch your spar, watch your bags, watch your technique on the bags, watch you doing your footwork. And then when I started training, when I trained myself, I would pretend that I was you guys. So one day I'd be on the bags pretending to be Naz. Then I'd be doing blows. I'd be pretending to be you because you would keep the technique dead strict on the blows. So I wanted to have the technique dead strict. So I would pretend that I'm Johnny Nelson on the bag doing the blows. So that's how I learned. That's how I developed. And you, Clifton, Brendan, John Ingle at that time as well. You is kind of like how I saw as more like family, the family that I didn't have. But I would always be. It makes like you when you're saying about you're shy and what have you.
Yeah.
I always felt intimidated around you. So just like little things.
We didn't notice that. We didn't actually notice he was like the little brother.
Yeah.
He was that
just a little tag along.
Yeah.
And whenever like sometimes after training, would go into town and walk through the Moor or Fargate or whatever it is.
Did you come to that vitamin shop down the bottom of the Moor?
Yeah, down right at the bottom.
He used to sponsor us again, so we'd go in and say, oh, you can have 1 or 2 things. We were snatching everything out of the place.
But I would be walking behind you. It's like, say if you and Clifton are walking, or Silke, and I'd just be walking behind. I'm thinking, I can't believe I'm in Sheffield with these guys. That's how I used to see things.
Oh, man.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't realise.
So just being in that circle was a massive thing for somebody that had such low esteem. And this is what people don't understand about boxing. It's not just the fighting, it's not just the training, it's just the association. So when there's keep fitters in the gym, when there's kids in there that are amateurs that are just starting out, just that interaction where the guys that are already there or prospects or champions just give you a little interaction. It's actually a really big thing.
Does that contribute to your philosophy as a coach now? Because you've become a well-renowned top coach while you're there in the gym. Now, and the fighters you train and the gym as well.
I'm very aware of how you are, but it's not just as a coach. It's about like when I'm out and about. I'm in a position where, fortunately, I go to shows or wherever, and somebody knows who you are and asks for a photo or just wants to say hello. I'll always give them time, because I remember being that kid and I know what that actually means. And you don't know what these people are going through. You don't know if they're having a hard time at school or a hard time at home or anything like that, and what that does for you. So that has always stuck with me.
Do you think being round like Johnny's circle in the Ingle gym and things like that played a big part in your, after your fighting career, moving into your training? Do you think that played a big part? As you say, you were watching and learning, but rather than you doing it yourself, you're advising or in a coach role?
Massively, because I seen, so Naz was the superstar of the gym. So Naz was the one that was like just there, like winning all the time, expected to be superstar, everything. Whereas I saw myself, and I always wanted, and I always believed. When it comes to fights, I never believed in myself. But that's with the background that I had. It was too much damage for me in that time frame to be able to get out of that and then be mentally like confident.
Yeah.
So from where Johnny started out, losing first 3 fights, amateur fights, we had a very similar record in amateurs.
I think yours was better than mine.
So, only joke. So from having that sort of, he was my role model because I could associate with him. It's no good someone like me thinking I'm going to be next Naz. Whereas if somebody like me who's not successful, lost more than the one, but then they've watched somebody in the gym who was in that position, but then turned it around to become a champion, in my head I was always like, I'm going to be the next Johnny Nelson. So that's why he was my role model rather than Naz. Naz was the kind of like superstar dream, but I've always been realistic in everything that I do. Even when I was young, now I'm 50, everything that I look at is realism.
And the people that you're training and coaching now, I imagine like when you were with Tony Bellew and things like that you've took that across with that and brought that into that.
Yeah,
and
because also where I see it in boxing and as a coach, whereas some people, and you get on social media where they'll say, oh, yeah, what does he know about boxing? He's crap, he's this. Yeah, but you've also got to know how to navigate people through the rough times. So not everybody's going to be Floyd Mayweather or Naz where they're just winning all the fights, looking like a superstar from day one. Yeah. You've got to understand when a fighter comes back to the corner, he's had a bad round, he's lost 2 rounds on the trot, and it's like going away from him. What's in his mind? Yeah. When you've got a fighter who maybe on the outside looks confident, but inside, you know he's not confident. If you've always been successful and if you've always been confident, how can you relate to that kid that's sat on stool looking at you? And I understand all that. Yeah. You know?
Because you've been there, you've won, you've lost, you've drawn, all of them.
And I suppose your home life and then going to the gym and meeting Brendan, who was brilliant with people. Yeah. It was a real good, it was something like, I can relate to that. Now I can understand why you become such a good trainer, because you actually understood people rather than the action. Yeah. Understood the result rather than the effects of the result.
Yeah, but also I'd say I'm quite clever in the way that I learn from what not to do. Everybody just learns. A lot of people look at, oh, he does this great, he does that great, he does that. But I learn from people's mistakes.
Yeah, I feel like you'll learn a lot more from a loss than you will from a win.
Yeah, but also from the amount of fighters that I watched come and go in that gym, we both did, but I would see where they went wrong, why they went wrong. It's like, I talk about Naz all the time in my gym, where people think he started sliding after he left Brendan. No, he didn't. He started sliding from the day that he signed his deal with Sky. Yeah. Because the day that he signed his deal with Sky that made him an instant millionaire, he walked into the gym, whereas we used to train every day, twice a day, he walks in the gym and he said to Brendan, from now on, I'm going to train for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
that was the beginning of where it started sliding. And I remember Isham Pickering was watching him on the pads with me one day when he was training. Isham had just joined the gym, he'd only been there a few weeks, and he was like, he's brilliant. I watched it, he's brilliant. I looked at him, and you can ask Isham, I looked at him, I went, he's on the slide.
Yeah.
This is like way back, you know? But I've learned from things like that. So
you got to the point where you'd come in the gym and say, I'm going to train at midnight tonight.
yeah.
Right. Joe, what do you do? Do you tell your trainer when you're training, or do you just turn up?
Chin me.
Is that what you do?
I do what he tells me to do.
Yeah, but I think that's probably the best way, and that's why I was saying that was the start of the slide, because he was dictating what was happening rather than the coach saying, you're here at this time, we're doing this, and this is how it's working.
But Brendan always used to say, you have to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
And I always did that. That's how I learned from mistakes from others, as well as watching what people did well and why they've become successful.
Joe Lister.
Hello.
Bare-Knuckle.
Yes.
How?
I don't know.
So you're 21 years old, you're still a baby.
I'm still a baby.
So we've touched on how Dave got into the person he is now.
I've got a similar story, to be honest.
So you tell me a story. Take us up to where Dave's taken us. Up to your point in your life. How did you get into this?
Originally, I was a gymnast, and I was getting slayed in school every day.
How old were you when you were doing gymnastics?
12, 13.
Okay.
12,
What
13.
made you want to get into gymnastics?
My mum made me, really.
Oh, did she?
I didn't want to.
It's either that or ballet.
Yeah.
And I got slated every day, so I told my dad I was getting bullied in school, and he went, I'll take you to a boxing gym, son. I'll sort these bullies out for you. Mm-hmm. So about a year later, I went back to school. No, this was after school, went to youth club after school, and I beat bullies up in the youth club. I got myself back on, yeah.
How long was you a gymnast for?
4 years.
Did you compete?
Yeah, I got four-time regional champion.
At what particular gymnastics thing, or is it
Which
just?
I don't even understand it really.
Oh, right.
Hold on, you mentioned your dad. Your dad's just not any
Mr.
dad.
Universe. 6 times Mr. Universe. Gary Lister.
6 times Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
So why didn't he make you get into that instead of boxing?
There's not enough money in it. There's a lot more money in boxing. And not many people like watching bodybuilding nowadays, are they, really?
And
It's not as
your dad
popular, is
like,
it? It's
your
not as
dad
popular,
like,
is it?
No, your dad like boxing.
Yeah, he loves it.
So you're into boxing, but that's not where you are now. You're a bare-knuckle. Now, as the next fighter, I look and think, God, that must hurt.
It's not as bad as what you think, you know.
Really?
I'm not buying that.
No,
I've
honestly.
seen their faces getting ripped to shreds.
honestly, it's just after, you feel it day after, but while you're in there, you don't feel it.
Because of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
What
that,
weight
yeah.
are the gloves? Oh, the wraps.
Wraps, 0.1 gram.
So is it the same sort of hand wraps what we
it's
have
just-
under his gloves?
Just get wrapped here, underneath your knuckles, just bare knuckles. Fucking class, innit?
So let me just get it right, because I'm coming to watch you. What you're fighting on
You're coming,
Saturday?
aren't you?
You're fighting Saturday the 27th. So by the time you see this, he'll be fighting the Saturday after it. So let me get it right, and that's at the AO Arena in Manchester.
Correct.
Get yourself down. They sold all these tickets anyway. I'm just letting you know. Plug.
Yeah.
So just let me get it right. So when you get in there, how long are the rounds?
2 minutes.
2-minute rounds.
5 rounds.
5 2-minute rounds.
Yes.
So they don't. You don't have
Touch
like.
and go, boom, 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 straight on.
And so what I've seen of bare-knuckle fighting, they don't usually go the distance.
No, never really.
Do they ever usually get past round 1, 2?
I don't mind them, to be honest.
You wouldn't mind them getting being a bit longer?
No, I want to finish them at first.
You want it done early?
Yeah.
Because you do that. The two you have had, you have done it early, haven't you?
I've got good firepower, mate, yeah.
So is it in there, get the job done?
I think it suits my style more, bare-knuckle, than boxing. Because it's more aggressive, isn't it? You know what I mean?
A little bit
And
more
I'm a come-forward
explosive.
fighter, yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah.
And so, but you've never been tempted to get into like proper boxing?
Nah, I'm not, what's the word? I won't say I'm not dedicated enough.
Disciplined?
Yes, I'm not disciplined enough for that.
Really? So how many bare-knuckle fights have you had?
One bare-knuckle.
One
One
bare-knuckle.
bare-knuckle, yeah.
And so you prefer that than actually putting some
Yeah,
10
I'm
ounce
less nervous for that, yeah. I don't even understand why I weren't as nervous, mate.
Wow. Do you? So you're from Doncaster.
Yeah.
I think Yorkshire is renowned for the fighters they've produced and that inspire other fighters coming through. Was there anybody you looked at in the fight game?
I boxed with Leo Watang.
All right.
I boxed at the same club as Leo Watang and Brad Casey. I looked up to them two boys. I used to have some wars with them two, mate. Some wars. I love them two lads, mate, to pieces.
So before we got to this point here,
Yes.
I'm going to let you tell the story because it makes me look good.
Oh, God. Hey, can I say it?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, my coach at the time.
Beat this out.
My coach at the time, Keith Walker, told me he had a weigh-in and he couldn't make weight, so he had to take his boxers off. And Keith said his cock's down to his kneecap. And he hit him with it.
So the thing is,
And he hit him with it.
BBC.
so the thing is, when I phoned him to book him for the show, the phone's on speakerphone, and I was
Sat
in
with
the
his
room,
daughter.
and my daughter's in the room, and he goes, "Oh, I heard a story about you." I went, "Oh yeah, what's this?" And he said, "Whoa, easy, tiger." So my daughter just went kind of purple. I'm like, "Oh man."
Sorry.
So it was interesting. I remember that fight as well. It was
What fight was
the
that?
weigh-in. It was a weigh-in. I was fighting a guy called Dino Holmes. I think the weigh-in was in Nether Edge.
Is there any pictures that weigh-in?
Yeah, there was actually, and the headline in the Sheffield Star was Nelson's the headline in the Sheffield Star was Nelson's column, but they just blacked it out.
Can I ask you a question? Is it true?
It's a vicious rumour.
Is it true?
Yo. So are we gonna have to cut that a bit out?
That's definitely staying in. I've got to stay in.
So let's go back to script.
It's true.
So tell me, you're 21 years old now.
Yes.
You're fighting in your second Bare-Knuckle fight
Correct.
on Saturday 27th.
Yes.
What's the idea? What's the inspiration? What's the goal?
To be BKFC world champion by end of next year.
Can that be done?
Oh yeah. You can climb the ranks loads faster.
Really?
Yeah.
So is there any? Can you get? So if you get stopped in a fight, do you have to have a certain amount of time off after a fight?
I think it's like 3 months if you get stopped in a fight, yeah.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know
time
that.
to recover, yeah.
Right.
Is that right, that? You should.
I don't, in our boxing, it's 28 days or 45 days. So depending on how bad the stoppage is.
So Conor McGregor.
Obviously, there's a lot more cuts and...
People like Conor McGregor.
Yes.
By you?
Yes. He shouted me out, actually.
Did you? He shouted you out.
Really?
Did he?
Yeah. Did you not see that? He tweeted me, yeah, after my Bare-Knuckle debut. They put for real, Big Joe Lister. I was like, yes.
Yeah,
Good
that's
him.
perfect. That's a great co-sign, though, isn't it? Because is he not president or something?
He owns the
He's
company,
the owner
don't
of
he?
the thing. So at least the eyes are on you. People are looking. People are taking notice.
And do you understand? It's not just about show. It's show business. It's not just about
the fans.
getting in there and fighting. It's about having a character. You look at Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, apart from being an outstanding fighter at one bit, he created a character where you either loved him or loathed him.
Yeah.
And that's why when you was on the phone, I was thinking,
I'm trying to get that.
I like this kid. And I know you were a bit nervous before we got on camera. I said, just be you. So if you're just you, people will buy into your personality. And then if you can fight on top of it, they're either going to love you or loathe you. So you understand that side of the business.
100%.
Do you find that today's fighters need to understand that?
100%. When I sign any fighter, be it management or if I take a fighter on to train, I explain to them about in this day and age, you have to be a personality. You have
got
to
to have something
allow
about you.
people to see a personality, whether, whatever path you want to go down with that. But I encourage them to be themselves. So if you're a nice kid, don't try and be a bad guy because it comes across as fake. You be what you are, but allow people to have that window into your personality. And I tell it to every one of my fighters. The frustrating thing is, majority of them are like, yeah, but don't. The one guy that does is Stephen Kearns. He's 12-0 now, and his social media following is massive. Like he's got well over 100,000 followers on Instagram. His numbers are like massive. He's constantly putting out, and he sees it as part of his job, which is, I explained to him at 18, and now he's just turned 23, and he's getting endorsement deals and all sorts, like good deals. And he's not won a title yet. He's 12-0, signed with Queensbury, but he's not won a title yet.
Do you get that, Joe? Do you get it?
Yeah, sort of.
So
It's part of the game, you have to do it.
I can understand. I suppose it's a bit of a ball ache, but I suppose you'd get your brother or your friend.
You've got to explain like things to me a few times for me to get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what we'll look
Been
at.
punched a few times.
Do you know the easy way to explain it is if without being a personality and a character and where people actually care, your paycheck is going to be that.
100%.
With
a personality.
personality
Sell more
and where
tickets.
people are interested, Your paycheck's like that.
Yeah.
It's adding numbers onto your
It's like
paycheck.
what Conor
What do
McGregor's
you wanna
done,
do?
innit? It's kind of like the Spider-Man Peter Parker thing, innit? You can be Peter Parker day to day, but when you get in that ring or you're doing the promotion, you've got to be the Spider-Man. You've got to create the character who is your personality. It's like the mask. You put the mask on and it's everything exaggerated or whatever your character is.
I suppose you look at something like Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Now traditionalists can't stand him.
Yeah.
Because he's managed to shortcut his way to a position where I remember he boxed on the bill and there was a world cruiserweight title fight on the undercard,
yeah.
and nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
And I thought, no matter what you think about this kid, he's
doing
leapfrogged
bits.
everybody, but he's taught everybody a lesson. So these young guns coming through like you've got to understand that your platform, your social platform, is as important as your game. You want people to talk about you. Even if you're a good fighter, you want them to talk about you, say, you know what, I saw that Joe, he's mad, he's black. You want him to have a conversation about you.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he can fight. Whereas, because there's a lot of great fighters out there that can't sell a bean. And unfortunately, if you can't sell tickets,
You're
a
no
promoter's
good.
not interested,
You're no good,
no
are you?
matter how good you are. And that's where the problem is. I always thought, going back a bit, I always thought that with Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
He's a very level-headed, down-to-earth guy. He's a family man. He's class. The boy can fight for fun. But there's just that little spark that's missing.
Yeah.
But now, his success, as I say, you can't ignore him.
Yeah.
But will he make as much dough as your Canelos, or will he make as much dough as your Anthony Joshua's or people like that? I don't think so. Andre Ward was the same.
Andre Ward,
he wasn't a
exactly,
character,
yeah.
but he's an outstanding
Yeah.
fighter. So as a young man coming through, you've got to understand, just
a
be
good
you.
character, yeah.
Yeah, just be you. You don't have to put it. Don't take it personal if somebody says, you know what, I can't stand it.
Correct you.
You just think, yeah. But Carl Froch is brilliant at it.
Yeah.
Carl Froch, he can be an absolute prick.
He sold
But
80,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium.
I don't think he did.
He did.
Has he?
He did.
Never heard that. But what, Carl can be an absolute prick, but he knows it.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of my favourites because he does it on purpose.
But he only got that later on in his career. If you remember earlier us, I remember they was wanting him to do more media stuff. I hated doing media stuff, and he just wouldn't do it. And then it was only towards the back end of his career when then he understood. And then now you look at him now, he's retired. Look how he's willing to be
But actually,
controversial.
Carl's always been like that. And he's just felt comfortable
Yeah.
doing it in public. You can't do a run, he'd like, I felt like this, I did it in X amount of seconds, I did blah, blah, blah. And it was a bit of his OCD. So his OCD has now become public.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can have fun with this, because he can laugh at himself. And he's a family man, he's proper down to earth with it, but I thought, he's got it. And so for young guys coming through, and for you when you're inspiring young guys, it's probably making them understand that side of it is not your responsibility, but that's their responsibility. Your responsibility is to train them.
Yeah.
Their responsibility is to make sure they take outside business. I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, BetGoodwin, for supporting That Boxing Show. Now, if you're interested in having a little flutter, or as I call it after my dad, Benji's Bets, BetGoodwin's the place to be. They're all about looking after their customers with the best bet odds and guaranteed great customer service. Check out BetGoodwin using the QR on the screen. But remember, it's all about having fun, and please bet responsibly. It's all about having fun, and if it's not fun, simply stop. It's strictly for over 18s, and always gamble responsibly. For advice and support, visit begambleaware.org.
So in the bare knuckle world,
Yes.
is it like? Is it the same as boxing as kind of like the fighting styles, or like
No.
there's so many different styles? I
Mate,
feel like bare knuckle is get in
it's
there,
like a street fight,
get
mate.
in there, get the job done, and get
You
out.
can hold the red down it and holding
Can
it.
ya?
Mate, it's ruthless.
But once they're down,
No, I wish.
right.
But the rules are once the knees on floor or they're not stood up, then it's
done, yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's a lot of cuts, a lot more blood. I think.
How do you train for that? It's sparring.
We're sparring MMA gloves. It's the same, but no head guards. Same, just sparring. Yeah, it's the same.
Are you pulling the shots when you're sparring?
Oh yeah.
So you're pulling them, you're not trying to smash them through?
No, just slight. 70%, I'd say.
That is mad.
And you're not getting like bashed, you know, because you got little gloves on in sparring now. You're not getting like, marked up cuts and things like
Don't
that.
get it.
Don't get hit. That's it.
That's
That's
the
it.
smart way.
If you get it, it's your fault, I guess.
And the worry must be when you've got a big fight coming up, and say for instance you're at Wembley, you're fighting the end of the month and you're sparring this week. The worry is you getting cut this week and not being able to fight next week. Do you still do?
I'd wear an head guard the week before if I was sparring the week before, obviously, and so I didn't get no cuts or like that. But
Tell me, you're only 21, so you're still a baby.
Yes.
And I've asked guests previously. I want a high and a low. I mean, in the gym or out of the gym, in life or out of life, a high and a low. What's your highest?
My highest.
21 years old. What put a smile in your brain to think, you know what, I was great at that? In and out of the room, can be anything.
The worst part of my life was when I went bad on drugs and alcohol.
At what age?
I'd say from 15 to 17.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't reach my full potential in amateurs. That's the reason why. That's the worst part. And my best part, I'd say, is my BKFC debut.
Oh, let's just not leapfrog that. Hold on.
So,
what did your
I
old
don't
man?
like talking about it.
What did your old man say about that?
What?
How was your old man around that?
I wasn't happy about it, like. Yeah. He's happy I've recovered from it. And now I'm doing what I'm doing now.
So what was the moment that kind of switched that from doing that, being that young, to like, you know what, I'm going to get back in the gym, or I'm going to get in the gym boxing, or I'm going to give this bare-knuckle a go? What was the moment that changed from, took you out of the drink and drugs to?
I just knew I had potential, mate. And I just got sick of the depression, the session depression, everything. I just need to just get back in gym, mate, get the sparkle back.
Yeah. Mental health is to me something that's been ignored so much in our sport, and it's only now people are comfortable actually saying, well, yeah, this is the case. Whereas before, it wasn't something you talk about because it's a weakness, especially as a guy. You're like, I don't want to be having that conversation. And that aftercare, that attention, that understanding is slowly but surely getting understood. What would you have done if you weren't doing this? What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't?
Probably be a professional boxer, mate.
Really? So you'd have to find something where you had to let that aggression out. Had to let that.
Yeah.
That.
I'd probably, if I didn't do bare-knuckle, mate, I'd probably be dead or in prison. If I didn't start bare-knuckle, that's the truth.
Explain to me why.
Because when I'm on drugs and alcohol, I'm a different kid. Turn into a demon, mate. Nothing's legal. Nothing's illegal when I'm drunk or on drugs.
And that seems to be the same pattern with so many fighters, combat fighters. Listen, it could be with sportsmen as well. You usually find after the first 5 years of at least retirement, that sportsman or woman will maybe drink, drugs.
I just can't believe how far I've come,
From the depths.
Yeah, it was so bad. Honestly, crying myself to sleep. Fucking hell. I was bad.
You were bad because out of frustration, out of being lost? What?
I was lost, felt lost, mate. All I did was sniff cocaine and drink. That's all I did for 2 years, mate.
But your upbringing?
Yeah, I had a really good upbringing.
So you were just trying to find that something that...
I read in that I were doing it though, so no one really knew. You know what I mean?
And that again, it's especially in our country, we don't talk about getting, going to speak to somebody. You're not supposed to be getting therapy, getting someone that understands or can translate what you're going through. Especially if you're a Yorkshire lad thinking, I'm not doing that, I'm going to therapy, why would I do that? But they do have sports psychologists to try and understand that. Again, I always think if someone's going to help you, they've got to have been down that path before. I don't want them to be qualified from the book.
No.
You want life experience.
Yeah,
that's going to be the one.
life experience.
So what was the thing that came in that gave you the life experience that you needed, or did you just manage to pull yourself out of it?
I just managed to pull myself out of it.
You thought, right, rather than
Let
buying
my dad down, mate. My dad's
name.
name. My dad's a 6-time Miss Universe. I can't let my dad down, man.
So that played a big part in you, like kind of pulling yourself out and sorting your mind out and getting a bit
your
more
mum and dad
focused.
proud, yeah.
It wasn't a pressure because of your dad's successes. Or do you think, how am I going to live up to my dad? 6 times as the universe. It wasn't a pressure, or was it a pressure?
I needed to do something.
Because everybody knew your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed to do something, you know what I mean? Keep my dad's name out there.
See, I always feel as though somebody that has a parent that's been very successful,
knows how to keep
in the public
disciplined.
eye, I always feel as though that there is a danger of that child feeling a lot of pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
That's why I have a lot of respect for in boxing world, when obviously we're growing up now, where as we're getting older, we're seeing these children of world champions coming into boxing. That's a massive amount of pressure, huge amount of pressure, because you're always going to be compared to your dad.
Yeah.
You're always going to be like, oh, that's so-and-so's little boy. Oh, now he goes in, if he follows the same path as him, it's different if you go in a different sort of angle, although that is still pressure because they're successful. Everybody knows you as
You can't do it anonymously.
But yeah, for me in boxing, when I see the likes of Conor Benn and people like that are following in the father's footsteps, that's a lot of pressure. And you don't know the choices that they make to relieve themselves of that pressure sometimes. You have to kind of understand
As a
sometimes,
coach,
so I can see
As
that.
a coach, I bet you find yourself sort of a psychologist,
Yeah,
a
100%.
psychiatrist.
Everything. You've got to. And a lot of my coaching, and you can ask any of my lads, is talking. We talk. It's like constantly, even while we're in the middle of the session, we're talking. Talking about different scenarios in boxing, things like that, but then it always goes to personality and mentality. And I'm big, because I know what strength or weakness in mentality can do in terms of you chasing your ambitions and your dreams.
Did you train the McDonald's?
Train at McDonald's?
The McDonald boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I heard some stories about these guys in the gym and how they train and how they like. Did you find that was a big mountain to climb, a lot of work working on that with them?
Yeah, especially Jamie. Because Jamie had a lot going off outside his life, outside his boxing life. Different fighters, you've got to know how to push buttons. You've got to know what makes them tick. You've got to know what brings them down. You've got to know what triggers them. You've got to be able to read a fighter when they walk through the door. What sort of, there's something wrong with them today.
Well, how did you deal with something like, I know at one point you trained Derek Chisora. Now Derek's like a whirlwind coming in. How did you manage to...
Because, so firstly, with characters like that, and Tony Bellew as well, huge character, with characters like that are very alpha, you can't back down to them. You kind of, I remember Derek tried to push me one day where I told him he's got to do this. He was like, I ain't doing it. I was like, you are, ain't doing it. All I simply said was, all right, well, the door's there. If you don't want to do what I'm telling you, fuck off. I don't need you. I'm not gonna be here. You've come here for me to coach you. So if you're not gonna listen to me, I've got no time for you. See you later. And that's one thing that I'm very big on, is if you're not going to listen, you can't win world titles.
No matter who you are.
Yeah. So there's no point you being there,
and that was the same. But the thing that I had with Bellew, and it took a few years, the first few years to get out of him, is that he has red mist. So it would be where he could be, everything's going great in sparring, and then he gets caught with one shot, and then he just wants to swing, and he'd leave his leg behind him, and it's like trying to get it out and get it at him. Sometimes you'd have to bollock him shot in his face, upset. He'd walk out of the gym upset, and he was like, it'd be like where you've fallen out with a kid, and then if it was on a Friday, then I'm not going to see him Saturday, Sunday until Monday, and I'm gutted for the weekend because I feel like I've fallen out with my kid, I've upset my kid. But then he'd come in and he'd say, sorry coach, give me.
You like that, Joe? You ever stormed out of a session?
I don't.
It's not that he's stormed out of the session, it's at the end of the session when he goes.
Okay,
because we'd always talk, he'd always come and give me an hug, see you after coach there.
You know what,
but if you bollocked him, then he'd like, go, see you later. See you after, just walk away with that hug. You know that you've had a fallout, do you know what I mean?
Go on, Joe.
People think I'm this big confident guy, but I struggle with self-belief, you know. My fights before you know what I mean?
Yeah. I sense that, and I'm like thinking, why? But then
I've got a lot of pressure on me, man.
Yeah, but I think it will come with maturity.
Yeah.
Because, and it's just not, you don't have to just be sport.
Why do you feel you've got a lot of pressure on you?
So I've got a big following. There's a big following. I don't want to let anyone down. A lot of sponsors.
I feel like they're following. They are there because they know what you are capable of, not because what they hope you are capable of.
I've got a good opponent next week.
So.
And how's the preparation coming for that?
It's going to be a tactical demolition job.
Yeah, what you're saying, early round.
That was good, that wasn't it, Jay?
I like that.
What about training, Dave? Would you ever train bare-knuckle?
I'd never say never. Yeah, I'm very funny about who I train. Full stop in boxing. You know, I do get asked to train.
You were training Ebony at one bit, weren't you?
Yeah.
And I imagine Emily's she'll be a guest on here one day, so I'll tell her what you say. But I imagine she's very strong-willed and strong-minded. To take herself from Australia to come here, you've got to give her credit, regardless. And Ebony, again, regardless of what you think of her, she's making sure she can fight, but she's giving you a reason to talk about her outside of her fighting. She
gets the game. She's such a clever businesswoman. She's a clever woman. She's actually, I think she's a qualified teacher. She used to be a teacher. She's very strong-willed. She is very, very focused, and she gets the business. She understands the business.
But how long are you training for?
Not long. One fight.
Okay, all right. And did it work for you or just didn't work for you?
It's not something.
Talk the talk, man.
Yeah, it's not something. I like her as a person, but we didn't gel as a. I think you need to be able to gel with who you're working with. It weren't something that worked.
Well, I do get that, and that's why when you're talking about you're not a very confident person. Now outwardly, you seem that, but inwardly you've got all these doubts, all these goals, asking these questions: can I? And maybe that fear alone drives you along to be the fighter you are.
The thing is, I've got no reason to think like that because I've never had any bad experiences in spars or anything to make me not give myself any belief.
But nerves are good.
Yeah.
What that is nerves. So before I understood what nerves was, I thought I was scared. I thought I was scared because everybody else said I was a coward.
Yeah. And
I was scared. So I actually believed them. But then I thought, every day when I'm back in the gym, I'm thinking, I'm back here again. I can't be a coward because I'm back again.
Back. Yeah.
So and it's you've got to understand why you think like this. It's not up to anybody else. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself. So you think to yourself, I'm here because I can do it. But nerves are good. You've got to run with fear. And that means because when you're not nervous, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because you're not alert, you're not on point.
Exactly that.
But when you're nervous, you're fast, you're sharp, you're like a deer in the woods. So that is you. But you just got to try and control it to your game and your private life. So you understand when you go in there, many fights, like Marvin Hagler used to take himself away to a dirty little one-bedroom apartment in Boston to train, even though he was a millionaire, because he needed to bring himself back down to earth. Carl Froch, he looked like a nervous guy every time he went as a world champion, but that's how he had to be. These nerves are good, so don't fight it, because when you're not nervous,
that's bad.
You want to panic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got a fight coming up, so now you want to think, right,
I'm ready for this.
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
So when you go in there, even when you get to the highest of the highs, if you want to stay there, when you get there, if you're not nervous, you'll think, shit, I've got a problem here. So nerves are good. So it's not a bad thing, but you just need to control it in and out of the ring. And I suppose, obviously you've seen what's happened to Ricky Garutti, so, and I suppose you've got to look and think, as long as I've got a picture in my house, it says, my family is my wealth. You understand? Yeah. My family's my wealth. Not what I've got in the bank.
Yeah, of course.
Not what car I drive. Not what clothes I wear. Not what watch I don't wear. But it's my family, my wealth. Because if you can create that security of people that you love and you trust, be it kids, be it family, be it a wife or girlfriend, whatever. If you can create that, that is your stability. That is your strength that comes through, and then everything else will fly. Yeah. And that is the thing that'll level you. It's not about dough, man. And everybody thinks it's about the money. It isn't, because I know a lot of very wealthy, sad people. So once you've got something to fight for, I see Dave, and every time I see him, we used to laugh and joke about it. Every time I see him, he gushes over his wife, gushes over the kids. And like back in the day, I was a boy like, Dave, man, what you doing? Putting us under pressure, don't saying, our girlfriend's the same, why are you doing that for me? Yeah. But I love that. I love it because I've seen this guy grow from a boy into a man and create an amazing environment. And I thought, that's his wealth. Yeah. It's not what he makes off a fight. It's not what car he drives. That's his wealth. So you've got to understand, as a 21-year-old boy, you've got to understand what makes you happy. Is it money? Is it family? Is it security? Is it stability? And once you identify it, it doesn't matter what anybody says. And that's the important thing, you understand? Yeah. So enjoy the ride. You're young, so nerves are good. Yeah. It's not about the money. As long as you can pay your bills, put petrol in your car, food in your cupboard, and keep a roof over your head, it's that family you create that will be your driving force.
Thank you.
And he's a great example.
I think if in doubt, there's always Misfits as well, isn't there?
Misfits, yeah.
Will you ever train a Misfit fighter?
I would, yeah, if it was the right one. But it all depends on, like I said, it's got to be a fit. It's got to be a fit. Whoever I work with, it's got to be a fit. And the way that I decide as well is whoever I'm training, are they worth my time away from my family? Because it's time in the gym.
Yeah,
I could be spending
a lot of time.
Time when they're fighting, we have to go away for certain days. Time if we go away on training camp. Time away from my family. I'm getting older. I'm very conscious that I'm getting older. My kids are getting older. So I was thinking on the flight back from Vegas, I'm thinking, this was the first holiday really where when we're walking around, because of, time away as a holiday with my kids is very rare, but this is the first holiday where we're walking around not held my boy's hand once. And I just thought that you're not aware of what is going to be the last time because your kids are growing up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So time's going.
Yeah.
So he's now, he's nearly as tall as me now. He's going to get bigger and bigger, hopefully. And there's a shift in relationship. It's like my daughter. My daughter was the one where she was just cuddling her dad all the time, and then obviously now she's 21-year-old and she's got her own boyfriend and she's got her own life. We're still very, very close, but there are things that become part of memory and part of the past that you don't still have.
Yeah.
So for me to train fighters, I'm taking time away from my family, which is why I don't train more. I could earn a lot more money, but the maximum I'll train is 5 fighters.
Because you put your family first.
Yeah, because then I can spend my time in the gym with the fighters and studying everything at home and everything with 5 fighters. That means that at 3 o'clock, I'm there to pick my kid up from school, and then I'm around him for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And when my daughter's in, I'm around her. I don't have to be dashing off here, there, and everywhere. I did it where I used to be stuck in a gym till 8:30 at night, every night.
Yeah.
When Brooke was 6 and Theo was a baby, I never saw Theo as a baby because he was asleep or whatever, baby. And I would get in the house, kiss her goodnight as she goes to bed.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
And I was like, that's no good for me. Yeah. So whereas a lot of people say I'm not a proper trainer because I don't train loads of fighters, they're not saying gym all day. I don't care.
Yeah.
I actually don't care whether you think I'm a good trainer or a shit trainer.
Yeah.
Because I've got a family that is more important to me than anything that I do with my life.
Yeah.
So what I say to my fighters, any young person, is that boxing's great and it's given me a great life, right? But you have to understand that just because your dream is to become world champion or bare-knuckle world champion, right? When you get there,
Then what?
really, the modern world that we're looking at, as soon as you get to you train for this fight, it's everything about that fight. As soon as you've won that fight, it's the next fight. Commentator or interviewer will say straight away, what's next? Let the man enjoy his world title when he's just won. Straight away, it's who's next. You chase the next. Everyone's then saying, he's got to fight him, You are never in a position where you can just enjoy what you've done.
What Dave's saying is enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy the moment. And if you enjoy training, get in the gym. You enjoy fighting, enjoy the gym. Enjoy the fight. You win, enjoy the win. Yeah. But that way, you're creating memories that you think, when I ask you in 10 years' time, what was your best moment? Oh my God, I had this fight.
I want my kids to look up to me,
Yeah. And that's it. But
I've been trying for 2 years.
Yeah, but you know what? Time will tell. You're still a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, you've got to set you've got to be happy you, and then your kids will see you being happy, thinking, I want to be like my old man. And that's
He's not doing bare-knuckle.
Yeah, but
Not a chance.
But whatever it is, once they see that happiness in you, thinking, my dad loves his job.
Yeah.
My dad's all right. He's laughing and joking. If you're spending your life worrying and panicking about tomorrow, or the worst case scenario, what does he think of me? What does she think of me? You're letting their dreams be your nightmare. 100%. What Dave's telling you there, he's 50 years old. I'll keep repeating it because he looks younger. He's 50. He's 50 years old. What I'm saying is, he's giving it. You've got to surround yourself with people that have had experiences and they've got the wisdom to pass on to you. If you surround yourself with idiots,
you'll be an idiot.
You're going to be an idiot.
Yeah.
All you're going to get is idiot conversation and an idiot experience. If you surround yourself with people that have been there and done it, and listen to what they say and think, all right, this is one thing that Brendan taught us.
Yeah.
He taught us that. And so my advice to you would be, enjoy the moment. Don't stress yourself.
Yeah.
Nerves are good.
Smash him.
Nerves aren't a bad thing. Nerves are good, and you'll go in the ring with a big stupid smile on your face, like thinking, "I'm gonna kill you." But that's what you want. And then after it, I used to love. Remember when Naz would go in the ring? So he'd be in the dressing room. He'd bring our gym environment to the dressing room.
Yeah.
And so, but before, my experience was Harold Graham in the dressing room. He was quiet, he'd sit there really quiet, and it was really silent. And it was like a funeral. Thinking, Jesus, it's a bit sad. And then Naz, it was a breath of fresh air because that environment we had in the gym, music playing, everybody's boom banging away. And we're like, I like this. It relaxes you. And so when you're in the gym, you produce cameos of brilliance.
Yeah.
And so you've got it. How you are in the gym when you're enjoying it that time, you've got to bring that to the dressing room.
Yep.
And take that to the gym. Take that to the ring where you fight. And if you take that, you'll produce cameos of brilliance, and people think, shit, who is this kid?
Who is this boy?
I want to be in his party. That's how you want to play it.
I'm going to do that. Just that. Thank you for that, Johnny.
What do you think of the Misfits? Would you do it?
Yeah, of course I would.
Would you?
Yeah, easy money.
Who's the kid that's shouting out Carl Froch?
Darren Till.
Darren Till.
Darren Till.
Yeah.
So I think Till's taking it more serious than Carl.
Yeah.
Carl won't do that. I think Carl's poking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
What weight is Darren Till?
He's a big boy. He's
Cruiserweight. He's a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, cruiserweight.
Whereas Carl's a very wealthy man. He doesn't need to do it, but he's created himself an amazing niche where he's able to he says he's got people's attention. So now, Till now knows if I fight Carl Froch,
How do you think that'd go?
I think Carl will smash him.
I do. I know he's been. He's
Paul's
still
a
in
nutter.
shape. He's still in shape. He still trains. The only difference that I would say is when you haven't been punched in the head for a long time, it's a big. And as you get older, it's not. You don't take the things the same way. But if you've done a little bit of sparring, it's like I'll still do a bit of sparring. So I'm not. Me to get punched in the head, it's not like a huge shock. So I think that's a big difference because I went a long time without getting punched in the head. And the first time I got caught, I was like, whoa, what's that? Do you know what I mean? So you've got to kind of like get used to getting hit again before you go back into fight when you've had a long time away.
Hold on a minute. He's me talking about Misfits. Guess who wants to do with Misfits?
Go on.
Him.
Really?
Yeah, against Joey Essex.
No, but we all saw that.
Come on, man.
I'm
You should
ready.
do
Mate.
it.
What do you mean? I'm ready, mate. Well,
I
I'm
got
not
into this
ready
and went,
right
yo,
now, but
Andy wants to do it. I'm getting him in. Because he smashed Joey.
Yeah,
Joey's
he-
got a big heart, but he was like watching two little kids fight like that.
no,
But
it's
that's
like
what
watching
you
kangaroos.
So for me,
Bless
that's
him.
what you go to Misfits for, to see that.
Yeah.
I don't go to Misfits to watch two guys trying to
It's
box.
fun.
I just go
For
for
me,
a
the
fun
whole Misfits
swing
thing
up.
is like when you get people. I'm gonna say our age, but I'm a bit younger than you. But I mean, like I'm obviously not going to be a professional athlete. I'm not going to be a sportsman. I'm not going to be a boxer. But I'm not going to be a footballer. But I like to go and play Sunday League. I feel that's where that is. That's Sunday League. It's like you want to have a go, come and have a go, and we'll put some lights on. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I'd do that. That'd be
I'm
fun.
telling you, I'm just I would stop banging that drum. Joe might think, I'll have him. Ex-Arctic Monkeys, I'll have him. You know what? I'll show him.
You need to just look like
More
you
than
need
a
to just look
six-pack.
down that camera and just start slagging him off.
I don't need to slag him off.
Rip into
He's
him.
all right. He knows what he
Hey,
is.
trust me, you can listen out. You start training. That fight happens, I'm in your corner, man. I'm training you because you.
Well, there we go. We've got two then. All right. No, don't worry. I'll be all right. But anyway, Joe's got to go. Joe's got sparring to do right now.
Okay then, Dave, Joe, thank you very much. It's that boxing show. Thank you very much, Andy and myself. We'll see what happens after this.